Temperate rainforests are broadleaf forests that receive heavy rainfall and mostly occur in temperate zones, poleward of the Mediterranean region, between 40 and 60 degrees north and south latitude, where warm offshore water and the westerlies affect the temperate climate. For example, temperate rainforests are mainly located on the North Pacific coast of America, from North Carolina to southern Alaska, but they are also found on parts of southern South America, like Chile, and also in New Zealand in small areas. The temperature in the temperate zones and rainforests are mild, ranging between 0 and 27 Celsius or 32 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit, never getting extremely cold or extremely hot. Although it is also likely to experience freezing temperature and ice in the temperate rainforests as we go more up north. Unlike in the temperate forest, the tropical rainforest experiences no seasonal variation. Therefore, the temperature ranges between 21 and 30 Celsius or 70 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit. In the temperate zones, the seasonal variation, without becoming extreme, is caused by the ocean being on one side and the mountains being on the other side. The ocean plays a big role in keeping the temperature from getting too hot in the summer or too cold in the winter, as it sucks up or releases heat during the different seasons. The mountains trap the air rising from the ocean during the winter, causing heavy rainfall with an average of 60 to 200 inches or 152 to 510 centimeters depending on the location. Zonation occurs with precipitation being higher in areas closer to the ocean. Rainforests, as said in their names, all receive heavy rainfall. In comparison to the rainfall in temperate rainforests, tropical rainforests receive just a little less rain, with an average between 60 to 150 inches or 152 to 406 centimeters per year. The soil in the temperate rainforest is dark and more nutritious than soil in the tropical rainforest due to a lot of decaying and organic matter coming from leaves, dead vegetation, and insects, which is consumed by mushrooms, fungi, bacteria, and insects. This soil, combined with large precipitation, allows the trees to grow very tall. Sunlight is an abiotic limiting factor in the temperate rainforest because it can hardly reach the bottom of the forest due to all the tall trees covering the bottom and prohibiting the sunlight to travel through them to reach the ground level. This prohibits the growth and survival of small plants, and it makes it harder for taller plants to grow as well. Water is also a limiting factor in the temperate rainforest since the rainfall is usually heavy here and plants that grow here are used to it. Without heavy rainfall, many plants would not be able to survive, function, or grow very tall. Primary producers in the temperate rainforest are plants that use their chlorophyll to make food for their own growth as well as for animals. In each layer of the forest, there are different producers. In the ground level, there are a lot of green mosses and small plants, mushrooms and grasses. Dead leaves, logs, and twigs can also be found in this layer, which provide food for detrivores who digest dead materials and make it available for recycling. In the understory layer, we can find shrubs and small trees, from which many of them have small fruits and berries. In the highest level of the forest, in the canopy layer, we can find huge coniferous trees which produce edible seeds and provide a thick roof for the smaller plants. Some primary consumers in this biome are small mammals, insects, birds, and deer. Secondary consumers are raccoons, weasels, and tertiary consumers could be bears, cougars, and wolves, for example. example of a mutualistic relationship in this biome, which benefits both individuals, is between butterflies and flowering plants, where the butterflies help to spread the pollen of the flower and they get food from the plant, so the plants get their pollen spread and the butterflies get food. An example of parasitism, where one individual is benefited and the other is harmed, is between a mosquito and a wolf, for example. The mosquito is benefited because it's feeding from the blood of the wolf, while the wolf is harmed. Examples of competition can be the birds and bears competing for fish, cougars and wolves competing for elk, or weasels and raccoons competing for shade. An example of commensalism, where one individual is benefited and the other is neither significantly harmed or helped, is a raccoon hiding in a woodcurge for warmth without hurting or helping it. Adaptations that plants have in the temperate rainforest in order to help them survive are mosses and ferns that grow on top of other plants to reach sunlight. Another adaptation that plants have in this biome are thick barks that help to limit moisture evaporation, and some trees tangle their roots with the root of other trees to help them stay stable during heavy winds and floods. Raccoons have adapted to this biome by having clawed feet to have Black bears also adapted to this environment by having sharp claws that they use to kill their prey or open up the nuts they are eating. Bobcats have lightly spotted coats that help them to blend in with their surroundings and therefore survive longer. Human activities have both positive and negative impacts on temperate rainforest. Humans often set up a lot of wind farms in temperate rainforest which help us to get power and electricity, therefore reducing the need for fossil fuels, which causes less air pollution. Pollution causes more carbon dioxide and other pollutants released in the air, causing acidification of rivers and lakes nearby the temperate rainforest that also causes an ecological imbalance between species. As a solution, we could reduce urban activities and set up more wind farms to decrease the use and need of fossil fuels. We also do logging and cut down trees in order to make paper, which causes deforestation, leading to the loss of the biome. And it also destroys homes of animals and leads to less oxygen production. We could make a solution for this by using less paper, by doing more recycling, or making laws that prohibit logging. Red wolf is one of the species that is endangered in the North American temperate rainforest due to habitat loss and climate change caused by urban human activities and the burning of fossil fuels as well as illegal overhunting of the animal. Red wolves were named to be extinct in 1967 by the Endangered Species Protection Act, and they were moved into captivity in 1980, hoping to increase their numbers and release them back into the wild. Today, they are still endangered with an overall number of around 200 in the United States. Since the aggressive efforts to keep up their population also caused red wolves to be more extinct, and because they were not able to survive and could not establish home territories in the wild after they were released. They play an important role in keeping the food chain of this biome in balance because it eats little harmful mammals such as rabbits and deer that can cause damage to crops and therefore have to be kept in check. Red wolves are endemic species and they are common in a small area, mostly in North America. Also, they are specialized to a specific habitat and diet. They are more vulnerable for extinction because of habitat loss. Today, scientists study about red wolves and try to find ways to increase their numbers both in captive and wild areas and prohibit their hunting, as well as they try to find newer ways to keep the sperm of red wolves by freezing it for the future.